Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast to guide you home into your human journey here on Earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard, and it is my delight to co-create with Gaia and share our messages from Source in this now moment. Here we go. Episode 454. It is Thursday here in Cincinnati. It is beautiful and sunny outside and freezing cold. We are definitely in winter. I am going to be talking today about teeth, decisions, which is activating a lot in my throat chakra. So I'm hoping that I can make it through without a lot of coughing. If you are arriving in this space and you're listening to me and you're feeling a little tickle in your throat starting, it is a match in energy. It's a synchronizing of my experience and your experience, bringing us together so that we can clear some energy and have some ahas within a very focused amount of time. So in 15 minutes, I'm going to try and cover a really big topic of conversation. Let's begin with Louise Hay. If you have not yet heard of Louise Hay and her book, You Can Heal Your Life, I highly suggest that you get it and read it cover to cover. In the book, she wrote it years and years ago. She is since deceased, but she's built an empire. Hay House Publishing is her empire. And in the book, she describes how the body manifests emotion as illness, as disease, as imbalances. And when we're aware of what's happening in our physical body, it can guide us into what's happening in our emotions, which can guide us into healing the emotions, which ultimately guides us into healing our body. It's a beautiful journey that she takes you through. In the back of the book, she talks a lot. She has a specific list, pages and pages, of all the illnesses, all the body parts, everything that you can think of, breaks and cuts and bruises and all the things. And she connects it to the emotion that is creating that dis-ease. And then she gives you a new thought pattern that you can weave with that. I feel like her work was the foundation that so many of us as healers have been building upon, and we all add our little pieces to what she created for all of us at the beginning. It's really magnificent. So teeth is the topic for right now. Why am I bringing up teeth? Because it's what I've been moving through. And if I'm experiencing it and I share it, all the people I'm talking to seem to have matches and they're experiencing it. So I feel like it might serve as a collective frequency to tune into together. Teeth in Louise Hay's book represent decisions. If you think about it, and I'm probably going to touch my mouth a lot because we're talking about the teeth. If you think about the teeth, they're in the throat chakra and they make up the foundation of the jawbone. So our jaws open and close to receive food, mix up food, digest food, to speak words out, to swallow, to breathe air in. Our jawbone connects to our ears. So everything that we are hearing, that we are receiving, that we are listening to, coming in through our ears is coming into our throat chakra, and at the back of our throat is having this alchemical mix-up of stuff. Add to that the air that we're breathing, how shallowly or deeply we're receiving life force from our planet into our physical bodies. All of this happens in such a very tight, condensed space. And so our teeth are the manifestation of all of this energy that's moving through our physical human life. Received, expressed, like it's all here. So much, not all of it. So much of it is here. And so if we are paying attention and making choices that honor the work happening in our throat chakra, and we're cleaning our mouth and brushing our teeth and flossing and rinsing and drinking enough water and eating nutrients and foods that are good for us and not too much sugar and all the things, we all know all the things. Like there's nothing new I'm going to tell you. in this podcast that you don't know about proper hygiene and good digestion and taking care of your body. Like, we all know all the things, and yet we're here for the human experience. So sometimes we eat too much sugar. We forget to floss. We forget to brush. We're not sure if we want to make a decision. We like live in this very busy reality, and our teeth don't always receive the best of care. Our teeth, though, emotionally, are representing our decisions, the choices that we are making from the beginning of life all the way through until this moment. We get the baby teeth and then the adult teeth, and that's it. And so our choices are reflected in the health of our teeth and our gums and our mouth. What I find is, especially now, we all have these things happening in our teeth and in our mouths, and yet we don't talk about it. We don't share it. It's like there's almost this shame or guilt or embarrassment that we don't have perfect teeth and that our teeth need our attention or need support from a dentist or an orthodontist. And so we all go through these experiences. I don't want to make general statements. Many of us go through these experiences thinking we're the only ones. And no, there are so many people who are struggling with making decisions, and it manifests in their teeth. And so I am here to just bring it to light in this conversation. Over the past few months, we have switched dentists because our insurance switched. And the new dentist that I went to see did a thorough job with x-rays and photographs and all the latest technology, and sat me down and said, you got a lot going on in those teeth that you think are pretty healthy. They're actually not. You need a crown and you got 3 fillings. I've never had a crown. I've had fillings throughout the years, but a crown? Like what? What does that even mean? I don't even know what a crown is. Do you know what a crown is? In a crown process, the tooth has had so much decay that there's only a little bit of structure left. And so they have to take all the old decay out and then build a porcelain replacement. Not replacement, it's like an addition that crowns the original structure of the tooth. And it allows you to have like not a full implant, but like the original plus a pretty crown on top. It sounds beautiful. It's torture. It's horrible. In my opinion, it was not a pleasant experience. And it's emotional. And here's why I find it's emotional. Our teeth are holding all of the emotions that we experience in our living, in our lives. Like, it all happens through here. And so if you think about what a filling does, it takes out the decay, but then it puts a cap on top of whatever was happening there before. If the emotions haven't been processed, if the patterns haven't been fixed, if the indecisiveness hasn't been changed to decision making, you're just sort of capping things, right? It's like we're layering on top of indecisiveness. And so eventually maybe you have root canals. Like, not doing that route. Root canals. Oh my gosh. The conversations I've had with some of my friends, they're like, I know. It's so much. Tooth work is so much and traumatic in my opinion. But let's get to the emotional part of it. So if we have emotions that haven't been expressed or released or processed or moved, and then we fill them and we cover them with a material and get us by for a while, at some point perhaps those emotions are going to need to come out. Well, a perfect time for that is when they do the crown, because they have to get all the old out and then put a temporary crown on and then come back 3 weeks later and do the permanent crown. So you've got all this time to move all this emotion. Didn't quite realize all of that as I was in it. I was just feeling all of it. I created an amazing series of posts on Instagram and Facebook called Duality, which is all about shadow and light, doing my processing. That's also when I got my throat, my cold, my viral infection, lost my voice. Yeah. There's a lot happening in these teeth. Our teeth, it's a lot. So why am I sharing this with you? One, because it's alive for me right now. And so if it's present for me, there might be some matches for you. Talking about it normalizes it. Talking about it releases the intensity and the hiding and the feeling like we're doing something wrong. We all have teeth. We all take care of them, or we don't. And then our teeth reflect that, and it's okay. It's like when Oprah, do you remember when Oprah talked about poop for the first time? on her show, and the type you're supposed to have, and everyone was like, what did she talk about? Yeah, let's talk about teeth. I mean, dentists do all the time and it's totally normal, but I don't feel like we acknowledge the emotional journey of taking care of our teeth. And to me, it's such a reflection of the emotional journey we go through when we are making decisions. We often come to these choice point moments in our journeys, and we can't figure out which way to go. We're not sure. This is our throat chakra. We don't know, should we say the words or bite the words back? Should we listen to this or should we block our ears? Like, there's so many moments where we have to make decisions and we're not certain. And so we sit in the indecisiveness. And I believe that's often when the teeth issues show up. Here we are as Pluto, I'm bringing Pluto up again, as Pluto is moving in the last 2 months of Capricorn and then arriving into Aquarius for 20 years. There's some decisions to be made. There's some choices that we're all being invited into. What is the foundation that we are completing in this time right now with Capricorn before we move into the Aquarius energy in January, the end of January, for 20 years? Like, what are we building right now? What are we creating as the foundation for the life that we want to be living for a while as a humanity? There's so much crumbling. There's so much releasing collectively, and it's happening in our individual human bodies also. So here I am, showing up, sending you this transmission of courage, a little bit of irreverence, some joy in the process that, yeah, we're human and we get to have these things with teeth and we get to come to these moments, these thresholds, these I don't knows, and maybe laugh a little bit, and maybe know that because we're not the only ones doing it, it's all going to be okay. If I can go in and get a crown put on and cry and go through all the emotions and move all the stuff and still show up here and create a podcast and share it with you, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay for me. It's going to be okay for you. Like, we're going to find our way through this maze that is the human journey and the collective shifts that are happening as a humanity. What I find helps me is to come back to the source of the information. And so I was looking at the Louise Hay. I have the app. Not a lot of people do. I don't know why it's so hard to get. But you can also get the book. And so I looked up teeth and then problems. Here's what she said. I'll offer it to you. The probable cause of teeth problems is long-standing indecisiveness, inability to break down ideas for analysis and decisions. I mean, Pluto and Capricorn right now. Here's the new thought pattern that she suggests. I make my decisions based on the principles of truth, and I rest securely knowing that only right action is taking place in my life. This very wise woman named Esther Hicks, who channels Abraham Hicks, has said something that I often repeat when I'm doing my own healing and when I'm working with clients. And she says, make a decision and then make it the right one. Meaning, don't look back and regret and wonder and analyze and evaluate and reevaluate and then blah, blah, blah. Make a decision and then make it the right one. You can't screw it up in this human journey. Every single thing that happens to us happens with purpose, happens with intention. Our soul chooses this human journey and then offers us all of these options of how to play it out. Our role, our work as a human is to play it out, to try this, and then to try this, and then to try this. If it doesn't work, try something else. You keep moving forward. You make a decision, and then you make it the right one. So that's why we talk about teeth, because teeth represent decisions. It's decision time. Whatever it is, you need to decide. Make a decision, and then just make it the right one and follow forward. Follow forward, follow through, move forward, follow forward. And then I'll meet you back here next week. And who knows what we'll talk about next week. So much love. Mwah. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.